Hangout is on the air live, Monday, August the 7th. Welcome, everybody. We had an extra session on Saturday night. We called it Saturday Night Live. Got a little more loose than we usually do on the weeknights, but it was still living room friendly, as we always try to say. And man, I got an early visitor. Hey, Jamie, how you doing?
Happening.
Oops, I don't think I have any sound. Now I do. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, got you now. Had it muted. Okay. Well, that was quick. That saved me from having to talk for about a half hour.
But I've been waiting for you to come on.
Yeah, that's great.
That'll be right.
Oh, man. I enjoyed Saturday night. That was a pretty good show we did.
Oh, yeah.
It was a surprise. It took us a while to get rolling, but once we did, we had a good time. Got some new people in, got Mike Leinke finally signed up and got his Google Hangouts app working. And he was on his telephone. And so in order to get on with the telephone, he had to download the Google Chat or the Google Hangout app. So go to the, if you're on an Android, go to the Google store and download that app in order to use your telephone. And the same is probably true with your tablet too. If you're on Google on your PC, then up at the top right, there's a button you can click kind of next to where your avatar is. And it looks like a bunch of rows of boxes. And when you click that, scroll all the way down, and the Google Hangouts is near the bottom of that. And so you can enable your microphone and camera there. And so that's one of the steps you have to take in order to join us by clicking the link that's over. If you're looking at YouTube right now, the link is over in the live chat box to your right. On telephones, I can't tell you what everything looks like because it looks a little bit different. But anyway, we're gradually getting it figured out. And Charles is with us now. How you doing tonight, Charles?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you, Rusty? Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. You broke up at first there, but sounds like I got you loud and clear now. And James is on with us. He stepped out of the room momentarily.
Okay. I'm going to try to work on my plane as well as be on the call, because I've been sacrificing on the plane, be on the call. I have an opportunity to go flying tomorrow, so I'm trying to get this plane ready to fly tomorrow.
Okay, which one you working on?
Nobler ARF. I'm actually swapping out the motors.
Well, that's a big step to take before going flying tomorrow.
Yes, it's I've showed you some before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what kind of engine? What are you taking out of it, and what are you putting back into it?
Got a Super Tiger 46. An old dirty Super Tiger 46.
Yeah. Now, how much does that plane weigh? Is that in a low 40s?
Oh, you're embarrassing me now.
52 ounces.
52. Okay. Well,
50 something.
No.
I've added weight. Yeah, it's over 50. It's over 52, I think, too.
yeah. Well,
But I'm gonna.
my flying buddy Bob Zambelli says 50-ounce Noblers fly great. So if he says so, then I'll believe it.
I need to weigh it, as a matter of fact, but I'm not sure what it weighed at the last contest. I don't remember. I think it was 54, 55, I think.
Yeah.
I have some records. I can check it. But I'm going to put this LA 46 in there. It's about 9 grams lighter than the Super Tiger. But this has very light use on it. I mean, I think it's pretty much a new motor. And then the Super Tiger, I don't know how old it is. I've been having problems with this. Is my second Super Tiger 46 I put in here. And they're both, you know, I'm not sure when the Super Tiger 46 were in vogue.
I have never run a Super Tiger. And
Yeah,
the Thunder
the
Tiger.
motors,
Not a Super Tiger.
they're nice motors, but I'm going to give this LA46 a shot. And the fact that it's broken in and relatively new,
Yeah. Well,
I shouldn't have any problem.
that's an extremely user-friendly engine. I love the LA46 I used on my ARF Cardinal. And, you know, it didn't do a 4.2 brake. I mean, a lot of people make them do it, but I don't. I just ran it wet too, and it was steady as she goes all the way through the pattern. And you know what? When I'm running a steady two-stroke, when it comes around in time to do that first wing over, I know it's going to climb tight up overhead and go over it. I hate wondering if it's running strong enough to pull that wing over off. And so I kind of like a steady two-stroke.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Holy crap. Hang on. I got to lock in on that. Man, you got a fistful of those suckers. Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't have one that's as pretty as any of those.
No, I went to get them yesterday. The guy I told you I found online was selling them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did. You said you
Yeah.
split them with a buddy.
He actually lived like 30 minutes away, and I met with him yesterday morning. So $125 for 4 LA25s.
Wow.
Two of them being brand new, never seen fuel with mufflers. But
That's a good deal, James.
I went half with a buddy. In fact, Rusty, you met him at a Joe Now, Alan Perrett.
Oh, yeah, I know Alan. I've met him up there a couple of times.
Well, I'm gonna meet up with him Saturday. He got half of them, so he gets a new one and a used one. I get a new one and a used one.
That sounds pretty cool. Well, tell Alan I said hi.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of our regular watchers, he says, too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like Alan. He is Stunt. I mean, that guy is a very person. I mean, I love the he has a apparatus. He did his lead outs on his airplanes,
Mm-hmm.
and that thing is neat. And there was a article on Stunt News about it. And I sure wish I could get in touch with him. I'd love to talk to him more about what else he has invented.
I think he's a pretty handy guy in the workshop.
Yeah, he's I think last I remember, he's doing the Moidal. I don't know if Matt Johnson came out with the short kit of the Moidal, an old time Stunt.
I don't know that one. The model Moidal.
Yeah, I think it's a biplane. You know, last I remember, he was doing one.
Yeah, I like
that. I have never even flown a control line biplane before. I don't have one. Might have to do that sometime.
Special 38 or 38 Special. It's a fun little plane to fly. We'll turn on.
I'm gonna have to put. There's two things I'm gonna have to put on my bucket list: as a control line biplane and a twin engine or a multi-engine control line.
Well, there you go. The 38 Special and Pat King's twin ringmaster with 225s on it.
Yeah, that was my next question. 225s. That's now. What size is it compared to a single twin? To a single ringmaster.
Give me a second. I'll find out right quick.
Ken Colbert's on with us. Hey, Ken.
Because I was looking at getting a twin myself because I got two identical Enya 15s. Let's see.
I have a twin Pathfinder with two LA25s on it.
All right, they
get both engines to run the same.
Oh, I was guessing that with two LA25s, you would have an easy time getting them to run the same. You run them both off the same tank or separate tanks?
Separate tanks.
All right, he got one of them. It has a 63-inch wingspan, and it's like twin boom engine pods pretty much on one wing. And that one, 63-inch wingspan. I know there's another one that kind of looks like a P-38 in a way.
Uh-huh.
Where you at? They got a twin streak, a flight streak.
Yeah, Michael Unke showed us his. I think he showed us a P-38 twin the other night with 2 Norvells on it.
In fact, Pat King has a P-38 Lightning. Yeah, I like the Twin Ringmaster. In fact, if I could share screen, I'll show you, and it's like really cool. It kind of looks like that what's that that twin Mustang? I can't even think of the name of it. The P-81 or something like that.
Well, I know what you're talking about, but I can't tell you the name of it either.
All right, let's see. Screen share. There we go.
Screen share. All right.
Okay, where you at? Where you at? Right here. Y'all see it?
I see it. Oh, yeah.
I saw it.
Let me lock in on it. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's pretty cool.
That way, if I was to do a Twin Ringmaster, that would be the one I would do. I don't like the looks of the other one, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I like this one. This one is pretty cool. And this is that other one. I'm just not a big fan of this one at all.
Yeah, with the single fuselage and then twin engine pods.
Yeah.
I like both of them. I love the checkerboard, too.
And then they got the twin streak.
Yeah. I've never seen a streak I don't like.
I had the chance to fly one years ago with at Dave Rowland's place, and I chickened out because that was like the first day I ever flown anything of like big size, and I think it had like a Fox 35, and it was a P-63 King Cobra, I think an old Midwest kit or something like that.
Yeah.
And that thing was heavier than, oh man, that thing would go so slow around the circle, but it would pull so much. And then it's like, you ready to fly a flight streak? Nope. I'm good. I'm perfectly okay.
I flew a twin flight streak, and it was pulling me really hard. I was scared to do maneuvers pulling so hard. But that was years ago. You know, that was before I started flying all these big planes myself.
Oh, you even got a Ringmaster Junior twin. That's kind of cool.
That Mustang was really nice.
Speaking of King Cobra, let's see, I got one to screen share with you. This is a buddy of mine with MCLS, and he showed up at one of our meetings with this sucker one time. And he's a little guy like me, too. Man, that is one big-ass plane. But I'm not sure how it's built. You see how he's got the tank embedded through the fuselage? But it's like a profile in the rear and like full fuse in the front. I'm not sure exactly.
And the motor looks tilted.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
now that's when
I don't remember what size that was. I think it was OS 60 something.
I really like this Ringmaster Junior twin. Huh. Put 2 baby bees on it. I mean, 2 Black Widows.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
The only trouble with Black Widows is they run out of gas before the fun light goes out.
That's another saying I gotta remember.
The captain has turned off the fun light. Always in that last loop too. When I was learning to fly loops, it took me forever to realize that last burst of loopable energy was actually it running out of gas. So I lost them at the top of the loop several times before I finally learned that.
You could always get you a Ringmaster biplane.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a Ringmaster with 2 Ringmaster wings.
Yeah.
31.5-inch wingspan, not very big.
Huh.
I've never even flown a full-size flight streak. I've only flown my 2 baby flight streaks, but they're, you know, like back when I built my flight streak, that was still before I knew anything about the larger size planes. And of all of my career since I was a kid of flying half-A planes, that was the first plane. The baby flight streak was the first plane I ever flew that made me feel like I was flying a real airplane, you know, instead of just a toy on a string. That was about the time I started learning how to use bladders too. And so I had a TD 051 with a pressure bladder on it. And you can, you can fly as wild as you want to that way.
I wonder how much a rib set for the little Satan would be on Brodak. I want to build another little Satan.
I can send you a rib set that's not even punched out of the sheet yet. If you want it. I got a kit, but if I ever build that model, I'll just cut new ribs for it, like I did with my first little Satan.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting another combat kitten from Pat King, because that kit was like less than $30.
Do those come in kits, pairs, or is that just one?
That's just kit. That's just one.
Yeah.
I mean, the original was in pairs, but his is,
I'm hoping I finish my P40 ARF this week, right before I got on with y'all. And part of the reason I was a little late signing on is because I'm trying to figure out how to make my first bar clamp type motor mount for it. So I can put my FP40's got a broken corner. One of the screw holes is busted off the engine. So I figured a bar clamp. And so I was asking some questions. I drew a little diagram and posted it. See if I had the idea right. Looks like I about got it figured out. I'll cut some of the ply doubler off so that the aluminum bearer sits flush, and then bolt a clamp down over that, and that way I can slide it back and forth for balance purposes too.
Yeah, that's a nice feature of that clamp mount.
Yeah. Would you bolt it straight to the ply doubler on a profile, or would you cut away the doubler and bolt it straight to the maple? Or do you think it matters? Just a matter of preference?
Yeah.
That way the bearer, which is a 16th thick, would be flush with the outside of the fuselage as opposed to stacked up, because I'm also going to put 2-degree thrust shims underneath it, so that'll stack it even farther out. That'll have the engine an 1/8 inch away from the main fuselage. I'd rather have it flushed in a little closer, but that's my project for tomorrow. Get that engine mounted.
Right, the white strip, which has the bar mount on it.
How's it? What plane did you say had the bar mount on it?
I have a supersized flight streak. It's designed for like a Vico 45.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
Let me ask you then. You've got an aluminum bearer that the engine sits on, and then the clamp that bolts over that, right? And
Right.
The aluminum bearer, is it sitting on top of your ply doublers, or is the doubler cut away so that you can recess it and mount it straight onto the maple beam? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it's right on top of it. It's right on top.
Right on top of the ply.
Yeah. But I think I like.
I'll just use 440 brass inserts underneath.
I think your idea is aesthetically more pleasing and probably beneficial also.
Yeah. Let me see if I can share my picture of what I drew up that I put on. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm going to share this screen. And this is what I'm hoping to build tomorrow. Do this, and there we go. That's okay. Look at that for a second, but that's my idea for what the clamp should look like. Does that look about right?
Yeah, it looks about right.
Except for, see, the ply doubler, I was thinking of stripping that off where that 16th bearer would sink into it flush. And
Right.
I don't know if there's any advantage to that or not. But keep in mind, there's also, and not shown in this picture, a 2-degree offset wedge nylon that's going to be trapped between the engine tab and the bearer too. So I hope it'll stay put because there's no screws going through that part. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be an experiment.
You know, one thing I recommend, Rusty, I had a problem with mine because I made my own bar clamp mounts as well, and I kept having interference with the first bolt in the needle valve. So you got to make it wide enough so that you can put.
Okay, I'll watch out for that.
Yeah, so I made mine extra wide just so I would have enough room. And I wanted to put a multitude of engines in there. So, but I kept having an issue with the needle valve, just the question of where it's at. It was right where that first bolt was at. Everywhere.
Ken Colbert wants to know if any of us have built a little toot. He says he loves them because they're small, fast, and heavy. Small, fast, and heavy. I've never built one. A little toot. My camera just went away. Where'd my camera go?
I don't.
Let me see if it'll come back. It did this the other night. Turn it off. Turn it on. And there I am. Now I'm back. I got a little glitch in my program here. Ken says after tonight he's not going to be on for a while. Life is calling.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I have a little myself. When life is calling. Life is still calling. I'm just kind of like giving a deaf ear to some of it.
Yeah.
Right,
sometimes that works, but sometimes that works, but it never seems to go away altogether.
All right, Rustolium. Got a question.
Rattle can, Rusty.
All right. Okay. You know them couplers that RSM came out with, the stainless couplers that fit on the carbon rods? You know,
yeah.
Rods? Well, I just so happened to be in my hobby town yesterday, and they had some 440 ones.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder.
3/32 wire fits into that.
And a JB weld, you think that would hold?
Yes. I personally solder them. I take the 3/32 wire and take a file or a cutoff wheel and make just some chops in it just to give it some glue grip. But I've never had one come loose. If I solder it good hot and make sure I got a great solder joint. Yeah, that works. That works fine.
Yeah, because I just so happened to come across him yesterday. I'm like, man, that's exactly the stuff I bought off of RSM the other night, except just smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, like for
now that, are you talking about fitting that into the tube or coupling the tube to that with a piece of 3/32 wire?
Actually going a coupling on each end of the wire with a ball link, one on the bell crank, one on the control horn on the elevator. Just make a whole little push rod.
Okay, but you're talking about taking a piece of wire, stuffing half of it into the carbon tube, and then stuffing that on top of the wire and taping it all?
No, just a big old naked wire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, JB Weld and solder, if I had to choose between the two, JB Weld's a good choice. I would not use JB Quick. I've had bad luck with that. Other people say they love it, but I like the 24-hour set JB Weld. That is strong stuff.
Now, granted, I do have this carbon tube here, and I could actually put this 440 because the 440 fits in it as well.
Yeah, that's 1/8 440.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, 1/8 rod.
The major diameter of a 440 is 1/8.
All right. Well, I could do both ends, JB Weld or solder, and then both ends and bam. It should.
Yeah.
Inside, it'd probably be a lot better being inside of a carbon tube than just out because of the flex.
Yeah. Now, if you've got a screw-on coupling like a ball link, you can take a 440 threaded rod and JB weld it in there, and that thread gives it a lot better glue grip than just a bare wire.
Yeah, which I have some of that.
And then be sure and put a collar over it to keep it from splitting. You know, about a 5/32 aluminum collar, J-bead or super glued around the outside.
Yeah, because I can solder these couplers on the ends, on one end, run the rod through, solder the other one.
Yeah.
And or actually drill it out to where the coupler would fit just inside of it, and then JB weld the coupler and rod inside the carbon rod.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying doing that for like a stunt plane or, you know, or anything, but I mean just a fun one just to throw around.
Yeah. Now for sport models, yeah, you can risk you know, doing things that you wouldn't want to do on a stunt plane where you're really going to punish that thing on every flight.
Oh no, this is just be on some just to bash around.
Yeah. Hey Howard, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Dude, how was the Nats, man?
Nats was fun. Everybody should go.
You met one of my club members over there, or he was over there. I don't know if you met him.
Oh,
Steve Miette?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or as Muncie says, Steve Millet.
Yep.
Those four guys are really
since the Nats. Is this the first time we've seen you since the Nats?
No, I've been on a couple of times.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Are you sure that's a regular cigarette?
It's a regular cigarette, but that ain't a regular brand.
That ain't a regular brand.
I ain't gonna lie, a cigarette would be good right about now.
I've been on at least twice.
Yeah, I thought so.
No, it was a good time. It was good to see Steve again.
Oh, so you already knew him then?
Yeah, I knew Steve. I didn't know him well.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we were intimate during the Nats. God, I hope not. But a lot of stuff happens you don't remember, you know.
I hope not too.
But yeah, he's been the one that's been pretty much coaching me whenever I'd go fly with him.
He's a good guy to learn from. He's a good flyer.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know VAR is just something special to watch. I mean, it's even better when he flies that 38 special and he flies the pattern with it.
Yep.
Oh man, that's so magical to watch that plane go.
I finally got around to watching Sparky's top five fly off the other day, and I hadn't finished it, but I got up through Paul Walker's flight, and that's a pretty good little video. I see what you're saying. Sparky did keep mentioning over and over about please give us a thumbs up and all, and I can imagine people giving him a hard time about that. But
it doesn't bother me. I mean, if I don't have any problem. I mean, it's what he does to make all of this happen is pretty tremendous.
Yeah.
And I mean, I use Stunt Hanger all the time when I'm confused, which is pretty much every day, all day. And it helps me find at least what not to do, if not necessarily what to do.
At least to firm up something you may already know, but haven't done before, and just see what the opinions on it are, and cherry pick the opinions.
Yeah, the one thing I've learned in my 70 years of life is that there are a lot of ways to do things and do them well, but there are several ways to not do things, and that's really what I'm looking for. Don't do it this way, or you're going to screw everything up. And man, I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Get impatient, got to do this. Worst part is when you spray something and you want to go pick it up and admire it.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. Just set it up, let it dry several hours, however long the paint says it's supposed to dry. Leave it alone.
Looks like Wally's trying to join us, and someone named Rebellion Revolution just said hi, and now is joining up.
He's got some avatar here.
I see that. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to come in tonight without a camera. Can't get my camera to run.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
but that's all right because I'm going to be balancing props tonight.
Yeah, that's a tedious, boring thing to have to do.
Yeah, it's all right. I got a whole pile of them here I need to do. So we was talking about the other night. I thought, well, this is a pretty good time to do it while I'm not doing nothing. So
Yeah,
I got my sandpaper up here and everything to get going.
Let me speak to our new guest here, Rebellion. How you doing, Rebellion Revolution? What's up? We got your avatar. We don't have your picture.
I hope it ain't that crazy Russian like that one night, remember?
Yeah. Yeah. About 5 times in a row, we had to make an adjustment there.
Sparky's reaction. What the fuck? That was crazy.
Let's see if I can coax our new visitor to say anything. Hey, Rebellion, say something to us, buddy. I'll send that via chat, too.
Charles coming back?
I'm right here.
Oh, you're here. Oh, I see you now.
Let me lower my camera a little bit.
Zoe life. Zoe.
Wait,
What's the matter with your camera, Wiley?
I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I'm not gonna spend the time to deal with it while we're on the chat. I'll do something with it tomorrow.
It is plugged in, I presume.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what's going on with it.
Well, you know what? My camera has gone out twice on me, and I went up to the top of the screen and turned camera off and camera on, and it suddenly appeared. So do try that.
Oh, okay. I'll try it.
That happened to me tonight already, and it happened to me Saturday night when we were just getting started. I thought I was going to have to do the whole thing without a camera, but then I just turned it off and back on.
There you are.
Collaborate, Charles. Here comes Gerald from.
Hello, Rusty.
Hey, Gerald. How you doing tonight, bud?
A bit frustrated trying to paint a model, and it started raining, so I thought, come inside and do something else.
I guess so. Well, you will have to be your second choice tonight, but glad you came in and joined us. We've got a mystery guest who isn't talking to us yet. Revolution.
It's a pretty full house tonight then.
Nobler over there in the background. Elaborate, Charles. It'll go.
Did I get my mic?
Yeah, you need a bigger hammer, Charles.
Yeah, I don't want to break my Asian bears though.
That's a
Let me mute
solution
my
to
mic.
everything. I need a bigger hammer.
Yeah.
That's the story of a lot of men's life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a thing with us. Now, my favorite hammer is the one I call my one-lick stick. It's a little short-handled mini sledge. I first bought it to knock the pilot bearings out of the back of the crankshaft on a Chevy, and I've had it ever since those days. My sister-in-law gave it to me. She asked my wife, "What does Rusty want for his birthday?" And Holly said, "A hammer." Hammer. He bought me the perfect one-lick stick, though. Been my favorite hammer ever since. One of my other favorite treasured tools is a piece of 1 by 1 by 8 brass bar that I use
My
for.
favorite hammer.
There you go.
Rubber mallet.
And I got one of them too. I got
Yep,
a leather hammer like that.
All the time. I don't do as much damage with that. It actually does work without tearing stuff up.
Yeah, yeah, you can move something with that.
Yeah, yeah, especially if it's a plastic part that's screwed on tight and you tap it. If you tap it with a regular hammer, it breaks the plastic every
Yeah,
time. Tap
Yeah,
it with
too
this,
sharp of an impact.
use the plastic.
And I got a
Fiber ball.
older version of that. It must be an antique, but it is a sheet of leather that's wrapped into a head about that size.
Yeah, that'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
Sort
I
of
inherited that from my father-in-law when he died, as well as a lot of other tools. And I always wondered what he used it for. But he was a locally famous lawnmower mechanic. He'd get up in the morning and there would be a lawnmower he'd never seen in the yard, no note or anything on it, and he'd fix them, and sooner or later somebody'd come along and claim it and pay for it.
Man, have y'all ever seen
my
the 09 made from Japan?
Have I what made in Japan?
An Enya 09?
I've seen an Enya before, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean stamped made in Japan?
Yeah,
I
an
don't know
old one.
about yeah, but aren't they all made in Japan? Ken, Enya?
You see, I got this one right here. I got this one months ago. All right.
Yep, got it.
The 09 too, and it says made in Japan on the back plate.
Well, of course, they want you to know it's not made in China.
Yeah. Then I got this.
Enya 35 says made in Japan on the back plate.
I got this one probably about a month and a half ago for like $20 online. Same thing, 09 too, but made in Japan on the fin.
That's pretty cool.
I'll look at my Enya and see if it says that on the tab.
That and one of them, I don't know. One of them look like the casings. They look like two different metals, almost.
Yeah, depends what model. I've got an Enya 09 here. It's my son's 09, and it's a Mark IV. And so on that one, it just says made in Japan on the back plate.
Oh, okay, cool.
These are Mark IIs.
Well, I know I was in Japan about 6 years ago when I was working, and my wife wanted a Christmas ornament, and I didn't bring one home, and she said, "Why?" I said, "All the Christmas ornaments had made in China on them. So what do you want me to purchase in Japan, an ornament made in China, when we can do that here?" Makes no sense.
Well, look what just turned up today. You might be able to see.
Enya, what does that say? Enya Metal Products?
Enya Metal Products, yeah.
Yeah, I just got an order from Enya today, actually, speaking of Enya. And they're very efficient. I had to get some top nuts and things for different Enyas, and they're very quick. It took me 7 days to get them from Japan.
Wow.
That's actually quicker than the eBay seller Shutterman does with his Enya stuff. It takes about a week or so.
Yeah, I needed a valve for an Enya 53, the tiny little thing. And yeah, very, very easy to lose parts for the 4-strokes. I'll just show you how tiny the collets are for the. I
always find it interesting when you order something from overseas, the postage stamps on it, particularly if you get something from Russia. When I was flying combat and you get the F2D motors in, or airplanes, they come in a big cardboard box, and they'd have hundreds of all these little postage stamps on there. It's so cool.
Hey, Daryl.
How are you tonight?
Oh, we're good. How's hogs and planes tonight?
Not bad. No worse for wear anyway. Getting lots of flying done lately. Control line flying, that is.
Yeah. How about your man carrier? Have you been taking any tours around the countryside with that?
I'm not allowed to fly yet, I don't think.
How's your wrist? Did you injure it that day you fell down?
It was sore for a couple of days, but it's okay now.
Now, did I recall right? Was that you that had a bandaged up wrist last year sometime? Or was that, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else?
Wasn't me, you know.
No, okay.
Well,
Yes, when everybody was laughing about you falling over the stooge line. That was the first thing I did after we signed off that night, is went to your channel and watched that. So, but that was a good, that was a pretty good video you made outside of the fall.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't screw up your hand.
No, it's all right.
Good. Yeah, us old guys always got something that's either broke or don't work.
I'll tell you, I keep that damn line in my peripheral vision now when I'm landing, especially the sky ray. It glides like a brick. And when I'm coming around, I'm glad the line is orange, and I leave that bright yellow reel on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually toss them as far as I can after I launch the plane, but as much as I wander around when I fly, sometimes that doesn't always help.
Yeah. There's always that.
Mine's a bright green rope. I got mine from Brodeck.
Hey, Minnesota Mike. He's on YouTube watching us. How you doing tonight, buddy? I guess Rebellion or Revolution decided to sign out on us. He hung around and watched us for a few minutes, but he said hi on YouTube, but never did say anything over the microphone.
He only needed 10 minutes to get all our personal info anyway.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Rusty, did you post something?
Minnesota Mike says his back is out. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, Mike.
Sorry to hear that too.
What have you got there, Charles?
I'm working on changing a blind nut on my Nobler. I'm actually changing the motor. I have it had a Super Tiger 46, and I'm swapping that one out for LA 46.
So you having to move the mounts? Yeah.
No, I actually had sacrificed the LA 46, the engine mount, so that I could use the same holes. At that time I built this, these were still in production, the LA 46s, and so I figured, well, no big deal. I didn't want to ruin 6.
46 is a beautiful engine for controlling.
How do you think they'll compare?
Mine.
Charles, is that a standard green box Nobler or a Brodeck Nobler or what?
This started out in life 12 years ago as an ARF, but there's hardly any ARF left in it.
What does it weigh? How much does it weigh?
It's morphed into a BOM legal plane now, huh?
Yeah. I didn't quite get your question.
How much does it weigh?
You know what? I need to go out in the garage and weigh it. I don't remember what it weighs.
Pick it up and say, yeah, it's about right.
That was my first question.
It's over 50, over 52, over 53 ounces. It's a heavy plane. Yeah.
Well, how do you think the Super Tiger will compare to the LA? Have you got a comparison? Have you heard many people talking about?
That is exactly what I want to find out. Yeah, the difference. Because I have like 3 Super Tiger 46s, and I have like 4. I had 5 LA 46s, and I want to see which one to focus on. If I find Tiger's better, I'll just sell off the LAs and just get focused on Super Tigers.
Isn't your Super Tiger a ball bearing engine?
Yeah.
You know, it looks like it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd put money on the Super Tiger any day, because anything that I found with a ball bearing will outrun a bushing engine.
Certainly will. You know, I flew my 72-ounce Magnum with a OS 46 FX ball bearing engine, and that's like a whole different beast. You know, it's got the power of a 60.
Yeah,
compared to the power of a 46.
Bearing in them.
Yeah, I'm extremely curious. So I put 2 different Super Tiger 46s in here. Give the LA 46 a chance to see how it compares. I really have no idea yet, but
my son has a LA 46, and we've got it on a smoothie, and it runs that smoothie around the circle very nice. But if it was on my Super Chipmunk, which is a little heavier, it wouldn't be enough engine. But yet my Fox 40 with the ball bearing on it will outrun that Fox or that OS 46 any day. But that's what I found out. I run ball bearing engines, but the problem is they're heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
The 46 is a beautiful running engine for a control line, though. The 2.4 brake.
That's right here, and the only difference is between these two motors is like 9 grams. This one weighs 2, I think, and this one was 2, so not much difference.
No, that's not a lot of difference. That's just a little more than 1/4 of an ounce.
Right.
That tells me, just looking at them, that your Super Tiger you'll end up running.
So the Super Tiger 45, the Italian one, or
what was that, Daryl?
And I don't even run Super Tigers, but that's what I'd put my money on.
Yeah, all I know about Super Tigers is what I've heard. I've never actually had one or run one.
All I know is they burned up one of my favorite airplanes.
Where is Super Tiger made?
Italy. There's Italians.
In the end, they're made in China.
They're made, China some?
Well, they used to be made in Italy, and then Great Plains took over Super Tiger, and then they started making them in China.
I had no idea Great Plains had anything to do with Super Tigers.
In the end, they did.
You know what? Tower Hobby sells them, but I don't know anything other than that.
Tower and Great Plains, same thing.
Is it the same thing? Well, yeah, because they own Tower Hobbies, don't they? Isn't that right?
Or that, or vice versa. It's all one big.
Yeah,
one deal.
I think Tower is the big company that owns so many. You know, the Omni models that I always say I like to shop on eBay. I believe that's part of that same conglomerate.
Omni. Yeah, I bought quite a few stuff from Omni.
I like that everything's $1.99 shipping from the eBay store. Just stay away from the regular OmniModels.com standalone site because their shipping is much more expensive.
Well, Howard, I'm having a hell of a time balancing props with my cooler fan blowing right on my propellers.
Yeah, you kind of got to turn your circulating air off to do that.
Well, if they spin fast enough and they start vibrating, then you know you're balancing. That's my smart ass of the remark for another night.
Only one?
That's
revised. That's your first smart ass remark of the night.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Well, it's better be a smart ass than a dumb ass, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Daryl, have you been flying any at all? I mean, any RC or anything?
I've been doing a lot of flying in the control lines lately. I've been practicing the maneuvers. And just getting ready to start the horizontal 8s.
How are your consecutive loops going? You remember at one time you were having trouble with that, and we talked about it, and I think you came back and said you had kind of gotten the hang of them.
Starting to do pretty good with them now. And doing those, that's what I just finished practicing, was the wing over course, and then the reverse wing over, and the consecutive insides and outsides inverted flight. So I'm pretty comfy with all that. And now my next is the horizontal 8.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
And I
all right, man.
No carnage lately. Golfers aren't that nervous anymore.
They're starting to come out and watch you fly now.
Oh, they're not that brave. Actually, I'm looking at some of the video I took and was wondering what to do with it here.
Well, I know one thing. I enjoy watching all of you guys' videos. Everybody's.
Do you have anything on the tube, Wally?
I don't. I don't have a camera or anything that I could even do that, but I'll have to figure something out here before long, see if I can get something rounded up. I haven't been much flying because my back has been so bad.
You don't have a cell phone with a camera?
Yeah, I do, but it's a matter of knowing how to use this stuff. I'll have to get my kid to go with me. He knows how to do this stuff, or my grandson. I get my grandson to do everything.
Man, cell phones can make people look like professional photographers these days.
Yeah, my kid tells me all the time, you need to be using your phone. Because I drag around my old camera, and he says, that phone takes a way better picture than that camera ever will.
Some things the phone doesn't do is zoom in and out conveniently. It will, but you got to put your finger on the screen and, you know, move it in and out. And I can't see anything through the display screen on my phone when I'm out in the sunlight.
You know what my problem with technology is I don't use it enough to learn it. You know, after you learn it, it's like, how'd you ever get by without it? You know, like a microwave, but
yeah. And then you gotta
I just don't use this stuff.
Too. If you,
what?
Then you got to keep using it, or else you'll forget it too.
Oh, yeah, it's just like this computer stuff. I get told how to do stuff, and I just can't remember because it's exactly like you say. I don't use it.
Yeah.
See, this is what I use whenever I go to the field. I use a Sony Handycam.
So is that digital? Yeah.
I'd like to have a real camcorder instead of just my little point and shoot. I've got this little Samsung camera that I think I paid $150 for it, but it's 14.2 megapixels and it's got a 10x optical zoom, which is the reason I bought it. That's a hell of a lot of useful optical zoom for a small camera like that.
Yeah, mine is only 9.2 megapixels, but it films in 1080.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, yours is digital. I got an old tape analog, but I don't know how you'd even get it on here to convert it to digital to make it work.
You plug the whole camera into your computer and she'll download it.
What's that, Daryl?
You plug the whole camcorder into the machine itself. You plug it into your computer. I've used those before. In fact, my first YouTube video was one of those.
And it'll convert to your computer, all right?
Yeah, it'll pretty much tell you how to do it. If you get the instructions for the camera, it'll show you how. You can run the camera from your computer when they're hooked up.
Yeah.
You can upload the video.
I'll have to try it because I've got 20 years worth of air race tapes that I need to put on my computer and put it on a DVDs actually.
And my recent purchase, GoPro Hero Session.
Oh, that'd be awesome to have that GoPro, man.
Now this one I paid, I think, $150 at Academy, and you could have the little bubble lens. You know, some videos you see got like the little bubble
fisheye, yeah.
Fisheye, yeah. Or you could do regular, which I do whenever, because I got the little chest mount and I wear it when I'm fishing.
Oh, so yeah?
I can record everything. Yeah. And it's not bad. It'll run about an hour, hour and a half. But, I mean, it charges in no time.
Well, how to do anything I need to do.
Yeah, my Samsung will only record 10 minutes at a time and then stop. It'll hold a lot more than that. But for some reason, it's got a limit of 10 minutes on each individual movie.
Yeah. My Sony, it just depends on the quality. If I'm doing a movie quality, as it says on there, which is, you know, right at 1080,
yeah.
I get maybe about an hour of recording. Depends on the size of the SD card I put in there. Now, if I just put like a basic standard definition, I can record 3 hours nonstop.
So is it standard like a 720?
Yeah, in a way, I guess you can say.
But is there that much difference? Do you see that?
I do. I mean, I notice it.
Okay, so you definitely want to do it in the 1080.
In fact, if you look at my YouTube on my Ringmaster videos, you'll see it in a high def. And
Okay.
I say it's not like full blown like 4K high def, but you know it's clear.
Yeah.
You see me fumble around.
What's your channel?
Let me see. If I
Hold
can-
on a minute. I want to write it down too because I haven't seen any of them.
Errol, I know I got you. I know I'm subscribed to yours. I mean, so is
Okay.
like other people. My channel
What's the name of it?
might be my name. Let's see. View as a returning subscriber. Yeah. The only thing I could say to look up to find it would be search for the video Chronicles of a Ringmaster.
Yeah, somebody looked that up. Chronicles of a Ringmaster. I know I'm subscribed to you because I get notifications whenever you post a new movie.
Yeah, and it's been a long while. I got all kind of video. I got lazy.
James
Yeah.
Holford.
That's it.
What is it?
James Holford.
Yeah, you can just search my name and you'll find it.
I've got some on there as well.
Somebody used a GoPro with the fisheye lens like you were talking about to film one of my flights at Huntersville, and the fisheye made my square loops look round.
Doesn't Shug use that all the time?
Huh?
Isn't it Shug that uses the GoPro all the time? He gets some really nice footage on YouTube.
He's got all kinds of different lenses. Hell, he goes out to the field and climbs flagpoles and mounts cameras and mounts them all over the place, and then goes home and compiles all of that stuff into movies and makes great movies.
Yeah, everybody talks about it. It's very popular here in New Zealand even.
Who's that?
I've got a
Shug Emery. Shug Emery.
Oh yeah, Shug. Yeah. Have you seen any of Jared's? He did one night that they took one of them flying outfits, you know, like a helicopter way up and videoed his dad flying down in the circle. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is
yeah,
cool.
that was good.
That's a great perspective.
If you get a GoPro, you should get a headband for it, because I do my videos from the handles, the ones where you can actually see the airplane.
Yeah.
From the pilot's view, it's the GoPro mounted to that headband, and that also shows me where I screw up. You can go home and a video and say, "Hey, okay, here's where I did that wrong and this wrong."
I shot a video of my wife flying from the handle, and I've just got a few minutes of her flying, but I think if you just go into my name, you'll probably see my wife Alina flying her Skyray. But I've got another video of one of my sons flying, but nothing of myself flying. So I've got to get somebody to point the camera at me.
Do you have a camera stand?
I haven't got a camera stand. I've just used a cell phone. It's just been one of those things of just giving it a try. I haven't really taken it seriously yet.
Well, I've got a tripod, but I borrowed it to a guy a year and a half ago, and guess what? Who still has it? Yeah, I haven't even got it back yet. It's like, you know, when you borrow something, you're supposed to get it to where these people bring it back. Well, it doesn't happen. You got to go there and retrieve it yourself.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something you can do in the meantime is take a top off of a Coke bottle and cut it off and mount it to a plate, and that actually clips into my tripod. But without a tripod, I just screw this off the bottom and I can screw the cap onto the top of a 2-liter Coke bottle.
You know what? That's a heck of a good idea.
Oh, that's
Somebody's watching a video.
Somebody watching YouTube.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize the volume.
I thought we were being spammed for a minute there. North Koreans had come back in.
I'm sad and making some weird noises, but I don't think that was me.
Sad. I muted the sound.
Unfortunately, that's what
Comes up.
Unfortunately, that's what we sound like to the outsiders anyway. With that annoying noise, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I got my son's T-Rex finished. You wouldn't believe this. I had to put 7 ounces of weight in the tail of that thing to get it to balance with that big OS 75 in the front of it.
Wow.
7 ounces. Now I got another 80-ounce airplane. It's like, well, I'm good. I'm glad you have a 75 in the front of that because it'd be like a brick. It's got a pretty good wing, so I hope it handles it good.
Sounds like you need a bushing engine.
Well, it's made for an engine, a 75 engine, 60 to a 75. And he wanted to put a 75 in it, and I says, well, I've got a brand new OS 75 AX. If you want to use it, I'll put it in there for you. And he says, let's use it. So anyway, I put it in there, and I about died. I knew I was going to have to put some weight in it. I was only hoping like 3 or 4 ounces. But when I put it on there and then weighed it was 7 ounces. I about crapped my drawers.
What if you did this? What if you cut the tail off and extended it a couple of more inches? Then you'd need a whole lot less weight to balance it.
That's true, but I don't want to do all that where it's his plane and it's one of them monocoque covered jobs, and I can't stand dealing with monocoque. I don't know what it is. I can run dope all day long, not have any problem. When it comes to monocoque, I just don't have the patience to deal with that stuff. Yeah. I don't know why.
That stuff ain't monocoque.
Well, this stuff here, Brodax, or whatever they call it, but to me, monocoque's all of them brands.
Yeah,
you're right. It's just a plastic covering's all it is.
Yeah, I call it China coat. It's actually tough stuff.
Yeah, it sure is.
But I got a new butane soldering iron with a blade, a nice little blade for a tip. And when I was cutting the strips off of my P40 for gluing surfaces, man, it up against the ruler, it just draws a perfect line and without burning the wood to cut that monocoque off.
Yeah,
then you don't have to worry about leaking in the wood with a little scratch with the knife.
Yeah, I was watching Daryl's video when he was building. Was you building that smoothie that you did that on? Cutting that plastic out of that so you could glue your wing onto your body. It's like, man, that hot knife is the way to go.
That was the Oriental, the yellow one.
The Oriental, yeah. Yeah, that was like, that's the way to do it right there.
You can buy the knife for that.
Yeah, I got the same one. It comes with 2 blades in it, and it came with a blade and a round tip for soldering. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing, that's the ticket right there.
And you don't use any weight, so you don't penetrate the wood. I dull on the blade a bit too.
Yeah.
I bought my butane iron in order to work on tanks, but first time I tried to work on a tank, I realized it does not have enough horsepower to flow solder around the seams of a tank. And I ended up getting my dual heat weller back out, which is 250 and 325, I think. And the 325, you can solder exactly where you want it on those tanks. So.
Yeah, that's what I've had to do with mine too. I just go right to the weller gun on an aluminum tank.
For the butane though, so I'm glad I did that.
I had a little pencil, butane pencil torch. That works good for that too.
Yeah, a little pencil iron, and you can take your grinder and make a monocoque cutting tip, if you want to.
Oh, for cutting monocoque? Yeah, you don't use a torch for that. I thought you were talking about soldering tanks.
Yeah. Well, I bought the torch. That's what I was saying. I bought the butane iron for soldering tanks, found out it didn't have enough horsepower, and with that little blade in it, it turned out to be a great monocoque trimmer.
Yeah, it's better than scoring or balsa. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of folded wings And on the Oriental, folded stabs from scoring the wood accidentally.
Oh,
So
I
you're
got
putting
this.
Brodack P40 together there?
What
I
about a
didn't hear you, Daryl.
140, 100 watt?
That's what I use right there, Chris. That baby right there you got.
Yeah, they work good.
What
Yeah,
did
it
you
puts
say?
out some heat.
What did you say the two heats on it were, Jamie?
It's 140, 100.
Yeah, you
Okay.
got a low and a high. It works
Yeah.
good.
Mine's, I think mine's
I never
250,
used it.
325. When I was a kid, I had one that was like 425 watts, but good Lord, that's way more than I needed for anything.
That's for that's for soldering Harley pipes together.
Yeah.
Dropping that silver solder down.
Yeah, it's 260, 200.
Are you doing the Brodack
There you go,
P40
Charles.
there, Rusty?
Am I building what? P40?
Brodack P40 ARF?
Yes, I am. I'm hoping to finish it this week. I've got almost everything put together except for mounting the engine and making the control rods for it. So I'm not going to use the control rods that were in the kit.
No. I got one of those too, but mine's electric.
Yeah, I might have seen that one fly.
But
everybody that flies them loves them.
that's what I hear.
They say those are great flying planes, and I've watched Wayne, my buddy, fly his P40, and he does as pretty a pattern with it as any other plane he's got. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know Shug had one too. His was electric, but mine came with no instructions. I can probably put together without them, but
I don't think you need instructions.
yeah, soon find out, won't we? But I haven't wrecked anything lately to make room for another one.
It's me. I got to build another rack. Get my kid to go flying, so he'll bust a couple of them up so I can build him another one.
Man, just looking through my YouTube channel, I realized there are like 3 videos that I've made and edited and everything and never uploaded.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so now I'm uploading the
well, I'll be watching for them. I'll get on there tomorrow and check them out.
Probably shouldn't try to upload while we're doing this.
Take forever?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Try it and see. If it starts interfering with you, you can pause it.
Yeah, it says I got like an hour, so I'm going to let it just do its thing all night.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll take, I usually leave them all night.
Right.
Hell, I got video from the event I went to last year from my club event, and I probably got easily 3 hours of just nonstop flying. I'm just debating whether to put all the flights, just or just do little short stuff.
I usually break mine up into shorts to keep people interested. But there was a fellow on here the other night that said the only thing he didn't like about my channel is all my movies are so short. He enjoyed watching the 2 and 3 hour ones.
And you see, it's sad. It's hard to please both sides with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just being lazy, because all you got to do is hit the button, then it'll go to the next one. That's what I do. It'll go right on down the line.
Yeah. I like edit them up and put comments in them and that sort of thing, and just feel like that's people are more likely to watch the whole movie if it's only 3 to 7 minutes long, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is back when I'm like just fresh getting into control on it. This was last October, before I knew any of y'all.
It don't matter who they are. I enjoy them all, but Rusty's is really pretty cool because he edits them and puts that, stuff on the back of them, that, it was this and this and, who helped me and this and that. And then, it really puts a nice touch to it. And then, but Daryl, he keeps his pretty well going because he's out there flying and talking, as he's going around the circle and everything. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, piece of crap.
Sometimes they'll say something wrong, and sometimes you see the old lawn dart going there.
Yeah, I like when Darren flies his arfs.
I show the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, yeah. It's all good as far as I'm concerned.
Daryl unboxes his smoothie. What the hell is this junk?
You know, when there's information, when you're explaining stuff like Charles, you know, you're out there and explaining this and that. I got my cones out over here and bringing my toolbox. You know, that's all added to it to me. I enjoy all that stuff. I enjoy just watching people build airplanes like Daryl's been doing it. I enjoy that. It gets a little boring sometimes, but that's okay. You can be doing something at the same time, you know, because we're all, especially me, I'm sure I'd get damn boring.
Some things are hard to make exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watching building videos too. Yeah, I was watching Daryl use a soda straw to put glue in the hinge slots. That was something I tried after watching that. It didn't work out as well for me as it did for Daryl, but
takes a little practice.
Well, I gotta tell you one thing, Daryl. Like, you found them hinge slots that were like 3 inches long. I found quite a few of them. Yeah. Brodak kits that are like that. They just, I don't know, they must have a great big round wheel that they just right down in there, and that's what you end up with.
They're crooked and off center, and sometimes my Oriental it was one long slit all the way down the trail edge.
Yeah, it's like, you got to be shitting me. How can you miss the slot on that hinge?
Oh yeah, my ringmaster was the exact same thing. So it wasn't one big long one. It was just,
yeah, they're like 3 inches long.
You got 5 on this one, and you got 7 on this one.
Yeah, kind of haphazard.
Well,
I wonder. I'd love to be a fly on the wall and see those Chinese kids building these.
Wouldn't that be something?
Kits.
Actually,
they're actually pretty well built, but what I've seen is I haven't come across one that's light by any means of the imagination. They're all up on the high end of the scale. If you're supposed to have a 45-ounce airplane when it's done, I've been finding they're usually in the low 50s. I haven't been able to find anything in the 45, 47. They're a little heavier than what you can if you make them.
The wood they use comes from who knows where. I mean, when I got my Oriental, and the first instruction is to drill the holes in the motor mounts, and I drilled one out, and everything was normal, I guess. I drilled the other one out, and it smelled like mouthwash. What the hell kind of wood is this?
It's not maple.
No.
Yeah, not maple.
Actually, that smoothie came out under 40 ounces.
Yeah, that really surprised me when you put that on your video. It's like, I would love to be able to get a hold of a smoothie that's like that. Of course, I guess I shouldn't complain too bad because I just finished one that my kids gave me for Christmas, and I think it weighed it was between 45 and 47. I'd have to go check my paperwork, and that's not too bad.
No, that's respectable.
Yeah, it's a little heavier than the one that you ended up with, but yeah, it's not as bad as what most of them I've been coming up with.
There's 2 of us have the same airplane, same color and everything in my club. And his is, I think, it might be 1/4 of an ounce heavier than mine.
Because didn't you put your Brodak 40 on yours?
Yep.
Yeah.
How many ounces is it?
Oh, that's right. That was Daryl talking about how great the B40 is, the Brodak 40. And
I got to run, guys.
Okay, Howard.
Have a good night,
man.
All right. Let's see. My ringmaster with engine is 1.85 pounds. Somebody do some math.
So what size engine you got on that?
25 LA.
That's 24 ounces.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's an ARF.
That's ready to fly right now, right?
Yeah, that's the ARF right there.
That's ready to go.
Now I'm gonna go get my old Florida ringmaster and see how heavy that thing is.
Yeah, you can't kick when it's that.
I knocked about 3/4 of an ounce or a little more off my smoothery by putting a Zor propeller on it. Because I had an APC on it.
Yeah, those are heavy.
And then I put the Zor on it, and that allowed me to take all the weight out of the tail.
All right, here's an old Sterling Ringmaster that's been rebuilt by me.
Good Lord, yes.
That's for a 35 size, right?
That's regular old, and this is a 25 FP that's on it.
Okay. That's still a bushing engine.
Yeah. Well, on a plane of that era, if it says it's a 35 size model, you put a FP25 on it, you got the same power.
Yeah. Well, unless you live up in my neighborhood, you got to go with 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now get this. This is going to blow your mind. 1.78 pounds.
1.8 pounds.
Okay. That's not too much difference.
1.78 pounds.
That's just a few ounces difference.
Yeah, so it's actually lighter than the Brodak one. And this thing is the old Sterling kit.
Yeah. Well, you know, in the old Sterling kits, there wasn't very many of them that had real choice wood in them either.
There was none that had real choice wood.
I built a few of them Sterlings. I ain't never cracked up about the good wood in them.
Yeah, but they sure they were tough.
This one has a 2-ounce tank on it. The other one has a 3-ounce tank, but I don't think that would add that much of a difference.
No.
We got a comments over here on YouTube. I've been forgetting to look. It says Minnesota Mike says, tell Jamie to pull up his shorts. No cracks allowed. And there's somebody else named Cora Maori. I think that's how you pronounce it. Daryl, you practicing for a prairie fire? West Coast Larry. What's he talking about? Everybody's locked up. Can anybody hear me? If y'all can hear me, everybody's frozen. Everybody just died. You're all gone. I apparently am still here. We have 7 viewers, and I lost all of my video company. I'll wait for a few minutes and see if they come back. Something kicked everybody off. Not allowed to join. That's what Jamie said. What's happening? Okay, here's Daryl. Okay, Daryl's back. What happened, Daryl?
I don't know. You just went blank, and the Stunt hanger logo was there, and then I got a notice that I was disconnected.
Huh. Must have been something on the server side. I was still here. I just saw y'all all drop out at the same time, and I could see myself.
Huh.
It still says we're live.
Yeah, I just signed back in to get back in again.
Okay. We'll see. Hopefully everybody else can get back in too.
Beans, I got you alone. That P40, I'm going to get back to that. So I know what I'm in for. I'm probably going to do a build video on it, or assembly video. I like to distinguish the difference between building and assembly.
Yeah, me too.
How'd you find you're saying the slots and all that stuff are out of whack for the hinges?
Yeah, well, the P40 wasn't as bad as my Oriental was, but they were still twice as wide as they needed to be, and the distance between them was not necessarily even. So I had to, I had to fiddle with it a little bit to get the hinges made up. Now on the flap, I just used the Dubro flat pin hinges, but on the elevator, I went ahead and just put CA hinges in. I figured I'd try them. It's the first time I've ever used CA hinges.
Yeah, you might regret that decision.
Yeah, well, I can cut them off and put real hinges in if I have to. Yeah, they are kind of stiff.
I've done that. You just cut them off, and you get the X-Acto blade on the top and bottom and running the length of the hinge. By the time you pull them out, you pretty much got the right slot for a Dubro anyway. I've done that before.
Yeah, I hope I don't have to do that, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I like even on RC, I very, very seldom ever use CA. I got to the point I was throwing them in the garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
And these hinges that came with the P40 are big round hinges. I've never seen CA hinges like that before.
Chinese, yep. He's got a new manufacturer making his kits, the Arfs. And I noticed, like, I looked at the P40. The Oriental was the old manufacturer, and so was this Oriental, or sorry, the Smoothie. I put together the electric Ringmaster I got there, and that's by the new manufacturer. And it's that Lanyu Models. That's who makes these things for him now. And they are better. They're not perfect, but they're a lot better than the old ones were.
All these guys are saying they can't get back in.
I had to the Stunt Hanger forum, and I got in that way. I use the link in the Stunt Hanger events forum there.
Let me retype the link down here because it's the same link, but shit, that's not. I got to go get it now. Oh, I can get it from right here. Let's see. Link is copy and paste. All right, there's the link again I just posted. If y'all aren't back in, we'll close this and I'll start a new thread here and at Stunt Hanger. Seems like if you got back in, they'd be able to, but something strange going on.
Oh, I can do it. Anybody can. Yeah. So you getting much flying in yourself, or?
Well, you know, I'd been down with the bad hip since the contests in May, and went out last Thursday and surprised myself and flew really well. And that was the first time I'd flown the Twister since I fixed the wing too.
Oh,
and
back in the air, right?
Depending on the weather, we're going to go back out this Thursday evening too and fly.
Yeah, we had a long weekend here. Unfortunately, it rained today. So I was working on the old 76 Harley, and but all like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Saturday I was out twice flying the old Sky Ray up there. The Smoothie flies better, but I don't really want to smack that one again. I already knocked the tail off it.
Somebody suggested maybe a spammer knocked us off. We did have somebody join suddenly and then disappear, and that's when everybody else died out. Okay, listen, everybody. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to restart the whole shebang. I'm going to close it. I'm going to reboot my computer. I'm going to come back. So it might take me 8 or 10 minutes. So if y'all will hang tight, we'll be right back, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. See you in a few.